All right, guys, here we are for my top 30 albums, part 2. I'm going to try to not have to do a lot of editing in this one. My right hand is a little bit screwed up right now from too much computer stuff. Editing on my trackpad is kind of a biatch, so if I'm a little long-winded with things, it'll just be all the more hype because we pretty much got all the emo and pop punk out of the way in the last video. I am going to have to put in the numbers. That's hopefully the only editing I'll have to do. So we left off at 15, which was Death Cab for Cutie, Transatlanticism, and now we're at 14, Circa Survive, Juturna, 2005.
We walk straight, I'm not like them. To pull it in, make it seem like you're in trouble, make a sound, fake it enough.
I am going to have to edit and speed up the singing again. Man, I remember the summer that I bought this album so clearly. I was a huge Seosin fan. So I pulled up the wiki for this band just to make sure anytime there's a super band, I want to make sure I talk about where all the members came from. So it was Anthony Green from Seosin, and then some bandmates from This Day Forward. Y'all who watch my streams a lot, you've heard me jamming out to This Day Forward. Man, I really like one of their albums. I have one of their albums on hard copy. I probably should have brought that over here. I feel like that album honestly could have made the list. I just haven't really listened to it for that long. Yeah, This Day Forward is great. So I was really into Seosin. And when I first heard Circa Survive, I was a little bit put off. I was a little bit disappointed because the reason Circa Survive is kind of above all these other bands that are below it, Boxcar Racer, Blink-182, Rufio, Sum 41, all the pop punk, Circa Survive was really a big step for me towards more technical music. And then, over the years, I found music that's more technical, but none of that stuff really made the list because it's just too technical. Circa Survive is such a great blend of it's very musically complex and what word am I looking for here? Just elegant. It's very elegant. Whereas, Blink-182, not especially elegant, but I love it for the feels. It's just feel good music. I like it. I don't care if it's only 4 chords. There's some fancy chords in Circa Survive. There's some really syncopated drumming. I've been meaning to do a cover. I made a video of one of the drum parts from Stop the Fucking Car.
Don't be alarmed, I feel we're falling back to ground. Don't be afraid, I feel it.
Something like that. That was actually a little too technical to do right now, just on my hands, and sing at the same time. Yeah, great, melodic, I enjoy the way it sounds, and it's technical. It's definitely got this, jazz fusion-y feel, and then some of the songs are, really gritty. Like I said, I was young. I was, so this came out in 2005. I bought it right when it came out. Yeah, so this must have been, summer leading to my freshman year, maybe summer leading to my sophomore year. A little bit blurry there, but yeah, early in high school. And this album, Juturna from Circa Survive, it really introduced me to more complex music. I started drumming along to the album, started introducing me more complex drumming.
Force, bleeding you like beating you. No, running from you'll never make it.
Now I'm starting to screw it up, dude, because the vocals are too hard and the drumming's too hard, at least to drum on my body and sing at the same time. Yeah, it's really a gem of an album. A special memory. I have two special memories. One, the summer that I bought it, playing it in the car with my family, and I thought it was kind of weird, and my family definitely thought it was kind of weird. But then also, I was playing Harvest Moon, like the Good Life or the Great Life for GameCube, the Harvest Moon that was for GameCube. And I remember just having this album on repeat, just listening to it all the way through over and over and over again while I played Harvest Moon. Great times, great album. Okay, here we go. Here we take a sharp turn. I listened to this album yesterday. I was taking a walk, and it's Porcupine Tree Deadwing 2005. Now, I've tried to get more into Porcupine Tree with success. The runner-up album from them for me would be, The Sound of Muzak, I believe? Or maybe that's a song on the album. I think that's what it's Absentia. Yeah, that is just a song on that album. It's Absentia. That's a great album too, but the first album I heard from them was Deadwing. I read Gavin Harrison, that's their drummer. I read his article in Modern Drummer magazine way back, maybe like 2006. No, I think it was about 2005 when that album came out. And I bought the album on iTunes. Man, and it's just right up there with Juturna from Circa Survive, as in, at first, it was a little bit... I didn't really get it back then. I didn't really get it, but I kind of dug it. And it's one of these way more technical bands. Like, Porcupine Tree is prog, and they're definitely my favorite prog band. It's the only prog band on the list. And the thing about Porcupine Tree is they're a prog band that sounds more like an alternative rock band. And Gavin Harrison, there's a lot of top-level drummers that would maybe put him on the list of, like, top 10 greatest drummers ever. He's up there, dude. You could easily say Gavin Harrison's your favorite drummer. You could easily say Gavin Harrison's, like, one of the best drummers. He's up there, bro. He makes all kinds of modern drummer top lists. He's written books. What are his books? Rhythmic Horizons, Rhythmic Illusions, Wrinkles. Stop. Wrinkles is starting to scratch stuff. Yeah, Rhythmic Horizons, Rhythmic Illusions. Matt Garska, now of Animals as Leaders. I think he shouted out those books. Travis Orban, the first drummer of Periphery, monster session drummer. He played with Sky Eats Airplane. One of the most intimidating polyrhythmic drummers ever, gent drummer. He shouted out. He used that book as well, Rhythmic Illusions. I've worked with it a little bit. Yeah. And I feel like Gavin Harrison's style on drums is he uses his polyrhythmic knowledge to make something super technical sound less technical. He takes odd time signatures and makes them sound more like 4/4. So you can have a track that's like sounds more like a pop song or a alternative rock song, but then you're like, wait a second, why do I keep like getting lost? Oh, wait a second, that's not in 4/4. And especially if you're trying to play it on drums.
I'm built to function. All alone is all I know. Shallow, shallow, shallow. Give it to me, give it to me. Shallow, shallow, no good to me, no good to me. Head first in an open car.
Now I'm starting to get mogged. Now I'm starting to list more technical bands. The pop punk bands are just so melodic and basic, and it's I'm not like a great singer. I gave it a shot. This is hard to sing, hard to drum to.
Follow me down to the valley below. Moonlight is bleeding from out of your soul. My man, don't you worry, this cold world is not for you. So rest your head up on me. I have strength to carry you.
Should have sang that higher. I'm blowing it with Porcupine Tree. But you know what? Most of the fans of this band who know all of their albums, they do not put this as their favorite album. And you know what? I just got to be honest. This is the album that I know. This is the album that I started with. I listened to it early enough to where it's definitely nostalgic for me. So Yeah, Porcupine Tree, the one band that's a prog rock band, like a real prog band, and this is just right up in the feels for me, like with all these other emo bands and pop punk bands and eventually shoegaze bands that we'll get to, just like Circus Survive. It was close. Now we're starting to get like pretty close. It was really these albums from here on where I had to fight for the order. 12. Sovlaki from Slowdive, 1993. I might save you the singing here because for some reason I'm kind of just like brain farting. And it's just such beautiful music, man. Slowdive is so beautiful. I was hitting this album really heavy a few years ago when I first found it. It's been a little bit now. But I took a really long break because I could just like not stop. I know there's the one Dagger. Your Dagger, man. I am just brain farting on Slowdive songs. But anyway, first shoegaze. First shoegaze album on my list. Sometimes shoegaze makes it way up there. That's pretty foreboding to where we're going to get near the end of this video and the end of this series. So, yeah, shoegaze music, man, hit me really hard. The next artist is another shoegaze artist. That was the first one I ever heard. I feel like I don't have much to say about this album right now, other than it's one of the best shoegaze albums of all time. Just very beautiful, very haunting. And you should definitely check it out. Okay. 11. Sigur Rós Agetis Bjorn. And the first Sigur Rós album I ever heard was Talk, I believe. First song I heard from them was the Nothing song. And it's called like Nos Javelin, and that's actually on the Parentheses album. So really the Parentheses album, Agetis Bjorn, and Tack. I think I'd rank it Agetis Bjorn, because that's when I picked, then Tack, then the Parentheses album. It seems like I don't have a lot to say about these shoegaze albums, other than that they're just beautiful. I remember I was going for a run in Vegas.
I was going for a run in Vegas on a beautiful sunny day.
And I listened to this album all the way through. And I was running up a hill and the sun was coming over the hill. Right when it got to that part of the song Starflower. Yeah, just a beautiful album, man. You'll have to check it out. This album really kind of slid into the number one spot over the years. I might just kind of be blinded by that song, because the Nos Javelin song.
You said no, fire. You said that
Song was the first one I ever heard. I downloaded that off of like LimeWire. Another band that I heard of from my military homie who moved when I went to high school. So yeah, basically just like Sigur Rós altogether. In fact, Tack really might be the most end-to-end banger album. So it's a little bit of a toss-up picking an album for Sigur Rós. Low-key, it might be Tack. That's just more of an end-to-end banger album from what I remember. But going on that run in Vegas while I was listening to Agetis Bjorn, that's really what won it here for me for now. Sigur Rós, check him out. I saw Jonesy. I didn't see Sigur Rós, but I saw Jonesy, the singer. I saw his side project at the House of Blues in Boston, and that was a great show. Number 10, Gorillaz, Demon Days, 2005.
kids with guns. Kids with guns.
A little bit lost for singing any of these songs right now, but I got some great memories with this album. One, when I lived in Anchorage to work at a music store, At first, I was living with my homie in his apartment, him and his girlfriend. That's what I should have done the entire time, because eventually I moved over to a family friend's house, and that wasn't so great. That ended up not being such a great summer, but the first part where I was staying with him, he had this album in his car, so every time we were mobbing around in his car, going to parties and picking up food and booze and stuff, he was allegedly growing weed at the time. So, yeah, some good memories there. I believe Feel Good Inc. is on this. It almost sounds like I don't know these albums as well as the albums further down the list. I mean, you guys, everybody can remember Blink-182 songs. Everybody can remember Sum 41. Those are, like, really catchy. I'll bet there's a lot of people watching these videos who are like, man, why does this guy have so much, like, pop punk on his, like, favorite albums ever? Well, I mean, you know, that's stuff that's, like, further down the list. This, after making these videos, it's like, man, we got to throw on everything in the top 15. We got to get a little bit closer to these albums. This is why I really wanted to make this video when somebody requested it. It's because it's like, man, some of these albums that I know are my favorite, I need a lot more time with. Some of the stuff I discovered, like, I heard the Demon Days album back then. That was like the summer of 2010. But it was actually in Vegas. I decided to ride Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds in Vegas, you know, before I went straight edge, before I was a Christian. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and this is one of the albums that I listened to. And I was just like, wow, this is an amazing album. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got feel good. It's got kind of like the sad stuff that kind of fits right in with like emo type of stuff. There's a little bit of everything. It's a great mix of a lot of different feels. Okay, Gorillaz Demon Days. Great album. That's 10. Number 9, Jawbreaker, Dear You from 1995.
On the head, all the time, nothing we can do. But it is so true. You can't be life of the party. You'll be the death of everyone. All I want is a life without parties. Want you as one. Oh man, that's some dark stuff.
Accident Prone was my alarm clock for a very long time, and I missed that. I should make that my alarm clock again.
On a miss to a close call, I keep a room at the hospital. Scratch my accident into the wall. I couldn't wait to breathe your breath. Cut in line and I bled to death. Got to you, there was nothing left.
So I wish I could remember the singer of this band so much that I have to say about Jawbreaker.
Before that, Jet Black, Stone Cold, Jet Black to the center, funny like a funeral. I need you to bury me.
So he ended up being an English professor at university. The singer of Jawbreaker is so smart. He's so good with words, and I kid you not, as a rapper, I put Jawbreaker as an influence, and maybe another band that maybe pops up on the list very soon. Yeah, Jawbreaker is an influence for my lyrical writing, which is primarily in hip-hop. He's just such a wordsmith, you know, cut in line and I bled to death. There's the emo cutting meme. Now, in this hardcore group that I was in on Facebook, they said that, like, OG Jawbreaker, which I'd never really got into, I knew that song Kiss the Bottle.
I kissed the bottle, I should have been kissing you. You wake up on an empty night. Tears for two.
He had like a really gritty voice early on into his career. They say it was like true pop punk. Because in the elitist circles, apparently like Blink-182 isn't even real pop punk. They're so elitist, bro. It's like, that's not really emo, that's pop punk. Well, it's not even pop punk. It's not even post-hardcore. All of that stuff has like more true variants in the 90s. But Dear You, there's a story behind this album that's very sad. And if you want to know the story, you can watch the Jawbreaker documentary. It's actually a huge documentary. A lot of acclaim for the Jawbreaker documentary. And during the documentary, in the beginning, they're like, yeah, you know, it was a lot of bad news and we were really bummed and disappointed. I was like, what do you mean you're bummed and disappointed? What are you talking about? I love Dear You. What are you talking about? I had no idea what they're talking about. Bro, the fans, they were this like true underground pop punk band, or punk band basically. And what happened is that they became friends with Nirvana. Kurt Cobain was wise to Jawbreaker, and he knew that this guy, the frontman, is hip. I can't remember his name because it's very similar to a UFC fighter like John Blachowicz. His name is like something like that, John Blachowicz, but it's not. That's a light heavyweight former champion in UFC. He became friends with Kurt Cobain, and they got to go on tour with Nirvana. And that brought them a lot of mainstream acclaim, and he ended up promising the fans that they would never sign to a major. But then they got offered this major deal for Dear You, and that was their album. That was their debut major breakout. And he's like, you know what? We said we wouldn't sign to a major, but I love having this budget, and I want to see what we can do, and we have all of this studio stuff to work with. And bro, they made the right decision because it's such a great album. I had a Dear You t-shirt in high school with the donkey on it. I mean, like I said, you know, I never really got into the OG Jawbreaker. I want to, but there's just different facets to what I like in music, and that's great production on the album, bro. You know, it's kind of that underground punk production, i.e. not really that great production on their earlier albums. And this album has great production, bro, and it's a long album, and there's so many bangers on it. Trying to think of more songs to sing from it right now, but whatever, dude. The singing's not really that important.
Save your generation. We're killing each other by sleeping in. What's the one?
Some older guy with a motorbike drives her home after school. Oh, so she smoked way before it was cool. And then some older guy with a motorbike drives her home after school.
Call me your name for chemistry. It's all just simple math to me.
It just really like clever lyrics. In the documentary, everybody's saying like, bro, people were like intimidated by Jawbreaker. It's like punk music for intellectuals. And you know, I don't want to start saying like, oh, I loved Jawbreaker in high school and look how smart I am, but I did love Jawbreaker in high school. I digress. Loved Jawbreaker. I think I've said enough about the album. And let's just go ahead and get to number 8. Jets to Brazil, Orange Rhyming Dictionary. This is the side project, or rather, this is the project after Jawbreaker for the frontman. And he just kind of really fully went in his own direction. I really like all the Jets to Brazil albums. Actually, I really like Perfecting Loneliness, the last one. That one does get a little bit too sappy for me now. Orange Rhyming Dictionary is just, it's artistry, man, and I really put it to bed for a very long time. I have that on hard copy. I have both of these albums on hard copy. They're just kind of like lost over time.
Racing you, I've knocked down to the train. I was dying to get out. Now all these tastes improve through the view that comes with you.
Some really moving songs on that album. I'll need to listen to it again. Last time I listened to it was like a couple of years ago. It's really about the lyrics. The instrumentation is just enough to carry the lyrics. I'd say that Jawbreaker has like the better drumming, the more like interesting changes and stuff in the song. Musically, rhythmically, melodically, Jawbreaker goes to more interesting places. But lyrically, I think Blachowicz, whatever the hell his name is, he really kind of just gets to do his thing on Orange Rhyming Dictionary. There's some kind of like funny lyrics. He's a smart guy, dude. Clever lyrics. Like I said, probably a big inspiration for my rap, as weird as that sounds. Anyway, Jawbreaker, Jets to Brazil, they kind of both go hand in hand. I don't even know if Jets to Brazil deserved to get the place above Jawbreaker. It's close. It's close. It doesn't matter. All of these were close. So, back to what I have on physical copy now. Number 7, Army of Anyone, 2006. Anybody who pays attention to my community posts, you can remember that I discovered this band not very long ago. I actually just recently discovered this band. Boy, this band kind of got me through COVID a little bit. It was right around the time that I got COVID when I discovered this band. Bad memories there, but hey, this band was a really good memory. And yeah, I made a community post about it. It was like, wow, like this is the greatest thing I've found in a long time. And here it is on the number 7 spot above all kinds of stuff that I've known for my entire life. Army of Anyone, man, and it's a super band. I pulled up the wiki for this, and it's so interesting because the front man, the singer, is the singer from Filter, who they're just a little bit ahead of my time. Like they were coming out with radio singles in like 95 that I thought I remembered, but I just don't. And then 2 members of the band Stone Temple Pilots, who we're all familiar with. My uncle really likes them. I checked them out recently. Just not really crazy about them. I could take them or leave them. They're not bad. You know, same thing with Filter. Never really into Filter, never really into Stone Temple Pilots. So they got Stone Temple Pilots on guitar and bass, frontman from Filter, and then Ray Luzier on drums, who's just like a killin' session drummer. And right here it says, formerly of David Lee Roth's band. He was in David Lee Roth's band, not Van Halen, like, you know, the David Lee Roth band, the side project, which is actually low-key pretty fire. High-key pretty fire, man. He had all kinds of great musicians. He had Steve Vai on guitar. He had other great drummers, too. Yeah, man, this album goes to a lot of interesting places. I actually compared them to Porcupine Tree. I said this is more like a straight-ahead rock version of Porcupine Tree. It just goes to really interesting places. And then Ray Luzier as a drummer, who plays for Korn now. He replaced Korn's drummer, and he sounds great in Korn. I described him as like the master of drumming cliches. That sounds kind of negative. Like, he plays these like stereotypical rock drum fills, like the quads between hands and feet. He plays like rock drum fills, rock drum chops, but he plays them better than anybody. And I'm not talking crap. Like, I'm glad. It's a breath of fresh air. He just rocks out, bro. He just rocks really hard. Epic drum solos in like the song Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's hard to remember these songs if you haven't listened to them in a while because they're so creative. They're so melodically interesting. This is a very re-listenable album, man. Army of Anyone from 2006. I remember reading Ray Luzier's article in Modern Drummer, and he was talking about playing in this band, and I just kind of figured, you know, he's one of those really good drummers that just has some band that, like, I probably don't care about, but man, was I wrong. This ended up being, yeah, number 7 on my top 30 albums of all time, and I just found this, like, a year ago. I bought it as soon as I heard it. As soon as I heard this on YouTube, I was like, yo, first of all, listen to it again, and I was like, I gotta buy that, and I love it. Definitely check it out. Yeah, really cool drumming. Just really cool drumming, man. And I love super bands, and I love the idea that it's like people from bands that I'm just not really crazy about. But you just take these guys from bands that are good and well-known and successful, and then you give them just this killer monster session drummer who, by the way, played Orange County drums and percussion, and that's what he was playing on this album. Let me just look through my entire list. Are there any other bands that were playing Orange County drums and percussion that I forgot? Sum 41, All Killer No Filler. Yeah, their drummer, Steve-O32, he was playing Orange County drums and percussion. Rufio's drummer was playing Truth Custom Drums. Travis Barker, He was playing Orange County drums and percussion. Circus Survives drummer was playing Shine custom drums. Okay, so that's all for the Orange County custom drums. But any album that has the original American custom Orange County custom drums and percussion, in my opinion, like best sounding drums ever. So the drummer's killing that. That's maybe like the best drummer who played those drums. I mean, you could really make the argument that he's better than Travis Barker. He taught at the Percussion Institute. What was it? PIT. It was called Pitt. I remember like Pitt. That's ugly. That's like a sweaty armpit. Yeah, he was a professor at Pitt Percussion Institute of Technology. Ray Luzier is sick drummer, dude. Killing it in Korn. Absolutely killing it in Korn. So yeah, Army of Anyone. Number 6. Handsome. One album release, just like Army of Anyone. This is their one album, and man, oh man, is this a good album. And it was a battle. It was a battle between this and Army of Anyone, but this really shot up the list near the end. Oh, Ride Down. Love the song Ride Down.
I'm trying to remember. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, out here, ride down. Feel so fun. The air out here. Yeah, it's just the air out here feels so foreign.
Amazing drumming. Now, this is also a super band. I like super bands, bro. When it works, it just works. American rock supergroup formed in 95. Okay, so the singer, Jeremy Chatelain, was he in anything else? Was he in any... I think this was it for him. I mean, he probably went on to do other stuff. No, he formed Jets to Brazil with Blake. Okay, Blake Schwarzenbach. That's the guy from Jawbreaker and Jets to Brazil. This guy was in Jets to Brazil. My brain's going to explode. Wow. Well, he must have not been singing. He must have did backup vocals and then played guitar. So he's in this band. And then a guitar player, Peter from Helmet. Peter Menegade on Helmet. Yeah, we're going to get to honorable mentions, and Helmet is on there. Helmet, Betty. You know, it's just a little bit out there. We'll get to that later, but, bro, Just Brazil, Helmet, Tom Capone from Quicksand. Quicksand has been on my list of bands to check out for a long time. Bassist Eddie Nappy. What did he do? Did he do anything else? Okay, so he was in Failure and Quicksand, and I've been meaning to check out Failure as well. And then the drummer, get this, Pete Hines from Cro-Mags and Murphy's Law. I've never heard of Murphy's Law, but I should probably check him out. But yeah, Cro-Mags, bro. Classic hardcore drummer, and the drumming on this album is so sick. This album was over-listened to, and I took a long hiatus from this. It's about time to listen to this one again. Yeah, these are both super bands. Army of Anyone, super band. Handsome, super band. Legendary albums, one album, one hitter quitter, and it's just like, wow, dude, they just came and wrecked everything and then left the game. It's like, what are you gonna do? And this guy, the singer, went on to join Jets to Brazil. It's like, bro, are you kidding me? And Ray Luzier joined Korn. Bro. Okay, moving on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, they call themselves the Rooster. Yeah! No, he ain't gonna die. My cat Wrinkles is nicknamed the Rooster. Damn bones. How does that one go? I know it's in 7. Yeah. That's all I remember from them bones, dude.
Them bones are free. I feel so alone. Not as them bones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And it took a little bit for this album to grow on me. Because for me, I was like, man, I really love Jar Full of Flies. Jar Full of Flies, man, that one just really gets you thinking about life. That one is more like, I could be rocking that maybe alongside some of the emo stuff, but it's not emo, because, I mean, even me loving all these emo albums, sometimes I gotta roll my eyes, be like, okay, that's kind of soft right there. I think Jar Full of Flies from Alice in Chains is just the hardest emotional. There's nothing cheesy or weak about it, bro. And, you know, Lane, rest in peace, really suffered with heroin. Just so much great songwriting. But, yeah, Dirt does get the nod above Jar Full of Flies because it's more rock and roll. It's just so great for summer, drinking a beer in the summer, doing some work in the shed, hitting the bag, working out. It's such a versatile album. Kind of random. You know, it's the only grunge album here, but, you know, to me, I feel like it sounds more rock than grunge. It's like, really? Alice in Chains is grunge? Sometimes I'm like, what the hell is grunge, dude? I feel like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam don't really sound like Nirvana. It's almost like Nirvana is the odd man out when it comes to grunge. Because I do kind of see similarities between Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. But then I kind of feel like Nirvana is in its own world. And, you know, Nirvana is like giga super famous. But, yeah, Alice in Chains' Dirt ended up getting the 5 spot. So, let's go ahead and move on. Number 4. Boom.
The moon is down, heaven is waiting for us to find her and our sights. Focus that's strong, my strength keeps slipping. Now where are the terminal cases? Those that invented in prior. Those with the feet on their faces. Those that we must keep alive. And I admire your strength. You keep us going on. You keep us going on. You keep us fighting along. After the fire.
This is one of those bands, right along with Circus Survive and Porcupine Tree, that helped pull me into more technical music. But guess what? I didn't even realize it. And that's why this is so much further up on the list. Because when I first listened to Circus Survive, it was like, ooh, this isn't really hitting those major... This isn't really hitting those 1, 4, 5 ones that the pop-punk emo music is hitting. Or just like the basic minor chords. Circus Survive is out there. Yeah, Porcupine Tree is out there. This is prog. But this sounds like emo... And what it is Strong Arm, whatever. I put all those albums away. I said Strong Arm all reformed into a different band. This is Strong Arm, but with Chris Cabrera of Dashboard Confessional on vocals. And I'm going to have to listen to some Dashboard Confessional again. It's been a while. I really did like that album that had...
Hands down, this is the best day I can ever remember. Always remember the sound.
He's a great vocalist, but man, is he killing it here. This band is deceptively technical. The drummer is killing it, and the drums sound so good. And when I listen to this in headphones, while I'm going for runs, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe how hard the drummer is killing it. The entire time. Let's read the thanks. Thanks to Legends of Rodeo, Stretch Armstrong, Billy, Seconds Before, Newfound Glory. Thanks to Newfound Glory, The Operation, Chad Militia. Thanks to the Chad Militia. Juliana Theory, I faintly remember them. Fairweather, The Agency, Rocking Horse Winter. I want to check out all these bands. I know Saves the Day, Glass Eater, Shai Hulud. Yeah, they're friends with Shai Hulud, baby. You know it. And Newfound Glory. There's those connections I'm talking about. Overcome. Yeah, I'm going to want to... I really want to know what drums he was playing, bro. I want to know what drums he was playing on this album. But yeah, obviously the same drummer from Strong Arm. And that really solidifies him as one of my favorite drummers ever. The drumming on Strong Arm is just wow. And then he's also the drummer for Shai Hulud. It's so progressive. Like, the drumming is progressive. I actually did a review of this album on my 7 Stroke Guru review channel. Also, the Number One Gun album. Whatever it's called. And the thing about this band is that you'll realize after listening to it for a while is, wow, this song doesn't even really have a chorus. It doesn't even have verses. It doesn't even have a regular song structure. This has experimental song structures. And it's so good that you don't even realize it. It's like, well, what's the chorus of that song?
Just until sundown, just one more day. I can't hold you without you pushing me away. Just for the moment, just one more time, just one more second, and we'll be just fine. This could be the last time. Just for the moment, just one more time, just one more second, and we'll be just fine. This could be the last time.
Great vocals, great drumming, epic. You're like, oh wow, I didn't even realize like this is technical as shit and everybody's shredding the entire time. Oh wow, I didn't really realize there's not even a chorus in the song. LMAO, I don't even know what the hell this band is. Like, and this band kind of just snuck in with like, I don't know, Fall Out Boy, and I didn't hear, Fall Out Boy was way later. This kind of just snuck in with like Brand New and like From First to Last and all the emo bands I was listening to because I knew about this band early. This definitely turned me on to more technical music. This definitely made me a better drummer. I actually started transcribing the song Monchetti. Yeah, you know, if you're not like a fan of emo, the vocals will probably like turn you off of this, but this is a very, very interesting band. Any way you slice it, bro. And that is the reason that they are number 4 on my list. Ultimately, none of their other albums were end-to-end bangers like this one. They had different vocalists. Actually, on their third album, they got the vocalist from Sensefield, which is very cool. They're on Tooth and Nail Records, Christians, and then when they got the Sensefield singer, that whole album was basically like a Christian album. Love the song The Sound. So definitely they had some singles, like The Sound from their second album, and then Light Up Ahead, such a great song from their third album. Hide Nothing, another great song from their third album. Love this album, love this band. Number 4, we're really getting up there. Really getting up there, little buddies. Okay, number 3. Everything
I keeping together is falling apart. I got this thing that I consider my only art of fucking people over. My boss just quit the job. He's going out to find blind spots and he'll do it. Me gonna shake the eye's hand. Your heart felt good. It was drenching the ocean and made of wood. And your hands and knees felt cold alive the grass and me.
Modest Mouse, The Moon in Antarctica, and I have to mention The Lonesome Crowded West as well. And there was times when I would have said that I liked that one better. This one is just more beautiful. This one is much more pretty. And overall, I like the prettier music better as time goes on. I shamelessly like singing above screaming at this point. But man, I have a really good memory with The Lonesome Crowded West. Like maybe like one of the first 20 times I got high at my friend's house and he puts on Lonesome Crowded West on it and we're in his living room high and he throws on Lonesome Crowded West. From the top of the ocean, yeah, from the bottom of the sky, goddamn, well, all damn well. I always said that this is really good Alaska music. Definitely like the Lonesome Crowded West. I don't mean to like, I'm from Alaska, okay? I'm an Alaskan. I don't talk down to Alaskans. It just kind of sounds like some outback. It reminds me of the movie Gumo. Like in Gumo, just like bumfuck middle of nowhere. They're like wrestling a lawn chair. Like, yeah, get it, Tommy. All damn well. From on the top of the Montana. It just sounds like some crazy hillbilly, dude. And a crazy emotional hillbilly. But this album, bro. Gravity Rides Everything. Aw, man. Dark Center of the Universe. You got a perfect disguise and you're looking okay.
Going down the road,
Tiny cities made of ashes. I'm gonna hit you in your face. I'm gonna punch you in your gut. Does anybody know where somebody took it away? Does anybody know what way?
There's a good little Alaska track. Different city, the cold part.
Well, I don't want you to be alone down there, to be alone down there, to be alone. The stars are projectors, yeah, projecting our lives down to this planet Earth. Everybody wants a double feature. They want to be their own damn teacher and
You know, I've talked shit about the lyrics on this album before. I'm gonna have to give them a once over. Every now and then they say something like stupid. When they talk about God, it's like, come on, Modest, just don't say anything about God. It could be some like a cult mumbo jumbo. They're probably into like some weird spiritual stuff. Lives. I think Lives is my favorite track. My mom's God is a woman and God is a woman now. I like this. I've analyzed those lyrics before. My hell comes from inside. It comes from inside, and now I fight this. My own analysis of those lyrics, because he says my mom's God is a woman. So it's like his mom is like some loony, abusive, narcissist new ager. And then when he says I like this, I think the my own hell part is first. My hell comes from inside. It comes from inside. And now, why fight this? His hell comes from inside. Why fight this? My mom's God is a woman and God is a woman now. I like this. So his mom is like some nutty new ager. And when he says I like this, it's like the clown pill. It's like he's taking the clown pill. It's like, oh, my hell comes from inside. Why fight this? My mom's God is a woman. I like this. Like, it's just, it embraces like defeatism. There's like a little bit of just like, you've just given up. I really feel this album, bro. I mean, what is this, number 2? No, this is number 3. This is number 3 on my list. And, you know, it could low-key like be higher than that on any given day. High key. I just really feel this, man. And like I said, Lonesome Crowded West pretty much shares this spot. Just as I got older, I like the prettiness of this album. There's some pretty songs on that album too, and there's pretty parts of ugly songs on that album, like Teeth Like God's Shoe Shine.
the malls are soon to be ghost towns. Well, so long. Farewell, goodbye.
And then, you know, their breakout album. I mean, they were already popular, but Good News for people who love bad news. I do like that album.
Well, that is that, and this is this. So tell me what you want, and I'll tell you what you get. You get away from me.
You get away from me. Now, obviously, Float On was way overplayed. It doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's just overplayed, bro. A memory I have is I was watching Comedy Central on New Year's. And it's so funny, dude, because I don't even know. Like, the host said that they were supposed to get Modest Mouse, but they couldn't get them. So they got a cover band, Timid Turtle. And then I was like, wow, this sounds exactly like Modest Mouse. This is the best cover band ever. Wow, this is a pretty good gig for a cover band. I'm pretty sure it was Modest Mouse, dude. And it was a joke. But I don't really know. I'll have to look up that performance and confirm it. I'm like 99.9% sure that it was Modest Mouse. They're great live. They're really great live. I would have loved to have seen them. I even liked their other albums. Well, the one that had Dashboard on it. But, you know, this is the one. Okay, guys, last two. I don't have the physical copies. It was tough to pick an album for this. Van Halen, baby. And you know what I wrote down? David Lee Roth. And, you know, I'm like, no, dude, you have to follow the rules. Van Halen can't just break the rules. No, David Lee Roth is an album. And it contains all David Lee Roth albums except for Divers Down. But I never listened to Divers Down. Everybody just talks shit about it, so I kind of assumed I wouldn't like it. But now I'm hearing people say they love Divers Down. It's either Van Halen 1 and 2 or Van Halen 2 and 1984. I really like Fair Warning. Some of my favorite songs are on Fair Warning. Change and Chained. I think it's 1984 and Van Halen 1. Tied. I'm trying to get the cool kid points by not picking 1984, but man, you gotta love Hot for Teacher. You gotta love Panama. There's a song that I'm thinking of. I can't remember the name of it, and I can't even really remember how it goes right now. But, and then, hey, you know what? You gotta show a little bit of respect to Sammy Hagar. We had a Sammy Hagar phase on this channel. I read his book. I love that song, 5150.
Always want more, you're never satisfied. It's always all for one with you. And I love meet you halfway.
That's a really great song, bro. But, yeah, what can I say, bro? And somebody on 4chan said it so perfect. You're not supposed to fanboy over Van Halen. You're supposed, like, low-key, it's like, yeah, they're the greatest band ever, dude. But you're not supposed to, like, spurg out about it. You're supposed to just wear some sunglasses. Can you imagine spurging out to David Lee Roth? Do I got my sunglasses? No, I don't. It's like, hey, man. Like, dude, David Lee Roth. Oh, I love you, dude. I love Panama. It's like, hey, man. I remember when I was like you back in the day. I'll tell you what, bro. As cool as it is to hear whatever you're jiving, there's some really lovely ladies over there. And maybe we can have this conversation. Never, my man. Like, he's cool, dude. He's a cool guy. You're not supposed to spurg out over Van Halen. I don't know if they deserved the second spot, but it's kind of the same thinking when it comes to Dirt from Alice in Chains. And I don't know, man, like, album for album, that's a really great album, Dirt from Alice in Chains. But I think it's the fact that I love all of the David Lee Roth albums so much. And yeah, you can just rock out to Van Halen anytime, bro. If it's rainy, it will cheer you up and make you feel like it's sunny. If it's sunny, hell yeah, it's sunny. Let's throw on some David Lee Roth years, baby. Smear it up. Okay, Van Halen, love it. Ultimately, 1984 and Van Halen 1. Those are my picks. Let me know if you think I should have grew some balls and put Van Halen 2 over Van Halen 1, because part of me thinks that maybe I like it better. What bands did I not name? Okay. Honorable mentions. So, and then I gotta put, we'll start with Deftones, Koi no Yokon. I have the hard copy. I went through a huge Deftones phase. Abe Cunningham is like one of my favorite drummers ever. I love his style. A lot of Abe Cunningham in my playing. Why did Deftones not make the list? I don't know, bro. Honestly, like, there's a lot of really lame people who like Deftones. They're, like, really, really popular. And it's selfish, you know? It's like that Jawbreaker documentary where all the normie fans, like, boycotted Jawbreaker, their favorite band, because they signed to a major. It's like, dude, you want your favorite bands to be popular. But, yeah, I have noticed that a lot of Deftones fans are just kind of cancer, bro. There's a lot of women who are, like, really cringe on social media who, like, claim to like Deftones. It's like, I don't think you like Deftones as much as I do. I'm sorry. That kind of turned them off for me. It would definitely be Koi no Yokon for, like, end-to-end bangers album. I love that song, You Aren't Who You Were Anymore, or whatever. And then Helmet, Betty. Do I have that over here somewhere? No, I don't. I have that album somewhere, but whatever. Yeah, Betty from Helmet. Why didn't that make the list? You know what? It's not quite as end-to-end as I'd like it to be. It's a little bit too weird. Sometimes I really love it. It's exactly what I want. Amazing drummer. Another big part of my style. I did a Helmet drum cover on my 7-Stroke Guru channel. Yeah, the drummer was really sick. He was drumline in Florida. And then Under Oath, They're Only Chasing Safety. That would have been somewhere around the emo section. You know, great album. Just, it's a little bit too heavy. And when I do want to listen to heavy stuff, I'd probably go for the Shai Hulud and Strong Arm. But, Great album, great memories. I was listening to that a lot in 2010 in Anchorage when I worked at that music store for like the crappy times. Radiohead, and I said OK Computer, that's a tough one, bro. Kid A, OK Computer, Amnesiac. I said Amnesiac back in the day. And this just feels like spinning plates. And then also, jumped in the river, what did I see? Black-eyed angels swam with me. Yeah, it was always Amnesiac back in the day. That would probably still be it. But In Rainbows, too. That's really tough, bro. I picked OK Computer because I'm thinking about, like, before OK Computer, they were more like a straight-up rock alternative band. And then after OK Computer, they were like an electronic, weird, experimental band. OK Computer was like right in between, where they're starting to do some weird stuff, but they're still like a alternative rock band. Yeah, there's so many great, Paranoid Android, Airbag. Fall apart, I'm practicing the end of you. Karma, police, arrest this girl, she touched a frigid radio. I think I'm pretty confident in picking OK Computer. Yeah, why did Radiohead not make the list? Because of the time of my life when I was into Radiohead. It was the end of high school, rough times, and going to Berkeley, the beginning of college. Rough times, bro. I loved Radiohead so much in such a crappy part of my life. And it sucks that I said going to Berkeley was a crappy part of my life. A lot of expectations on me, dude. So many expectations that I did not live up to. Yeah, sorry, Radiohead. Like, basically, that was a really brutal part of my life. And Radiohead was, like, considered my favorite band back then. And to remove some of the trauma of my life, I had to, like, sacrifice Radiohead as one of my favorite bands. That time that I was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, when I listened to Demon Days, I also listened to a select playlist of Radiohead and then also some Tom York singles or a side project, and I was lying on the floor looking at the ceiling like, Tom York's a genius, bro. So I still like Radiohead. Just it just is what it is. They get an honorable mention. Everybody's got to know who's got the number one spot. I talk about them all the time. I got their t-shirt. Cocteau Twins, 4 Calendar Cafe, and Heaven or Las Vegas. And good luck singing any of this, bro. I have to try. La 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 la. Heaven or Las Vegas. Oh man. Yeah, I'm losing my voice.
Are you the right man for me? Ah, hee hee hee.
Are you the right man?
Or are you toxic for me?
When I first got into Cocteau Twins, this was my first pick. And as time goes on, I'm starting to think, maybe Heaven or Las Vegas edges it a little bit. But it's back and forth, bro. If they're going to be my number one spot, they're basically like my favorite band, I guess. It's hard. This is favorite albums. Keep that in mind. This is favorite albums. And now these albums got me through some hard times. I don't want it to hit the Radiohead effect. Radiohead got me through some hard times, and I ultimately had to, like, sacrifice Radiohead to, like, forget about those times. And I could almost, because this album got me through some really hard times, bro. It was, like, liquid happiness and bliss. And I think I'm going to just... When I was first making reaction videos, I was like, oh, you have to react to songs that you haven't heard before? Bro, I wanted to, like, react to my favorite albums. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to sit here and listen to my favorite albums like Cocteau Twins and Modest Mouse and just, like, give you my insights on why I love this music so much, bro. It's just, like, bliss. It's just angelic bliss. There's a great meme with the Joker smoking from the movie Joker. and he's in the mental hospital, and the nurse is like, so what exactly is Liz saying in Cocktail Twins? He's like, ha, you wouldn't understand. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. This album does have lyrics. Heaven or Las Vegas does have lyrics. And when you go to the earlier albums, it's kind of like not really lyrics anymore. Most of the diehard fans like the earlier albums. Robert Smith from The Cure, he says that Treasure is one of his favorite albums. That's like a way earlier Cocktail Twins album. I like this and Heaven or Las Vegas because it's just a little bit more complex. This is not especially complex music, but the drums are more often and more present. A little bit better production. It sounds a little bit more like a band. It uses a drum machine. The number one albums on my list use a drum machine. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, are you starting to understand like why I didn't make it as a drummer? The best music doesn't even have drums, bro. Anyway, it just sounds so great. I just love it, bro. And yeah, like, I need to make some new memories with these albums. I discovered them in Las Vegas. Heaven or Las Vegas. Liz, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Now, this is funny. This is a funny interpretation of that. Is it Heaven or Las Vegas? I can't tell the difference. I'm seeing doubles because they're both so amazing. Or is it Heaven or Las Vegas? Because Las Vegas is like hell. Well, I think I know which interpretation. I know the way I would interpret it. But I don't know. Maybe they played some shows in Las Vegas and they look back on it fondly. Yeah, and it's left open to interpretation. And, you know, Modest Mouse has the really weird lyrics that sometimes I interpret in my own way. I like interpreting things my own way. Same thing with Jawbreaker. You can kind of interpret Jawbreaker your own way sometimes. And a lot of times you don't even know what the hell Liz is saying, and you can interpret it your own way. Now you see, Heaven or Las Vegas is a little bit more electronic. And then this sounds a little bit more like a band. This still might take the cake for me. And it's rare for Cocktail Twins fans because most of them would definitely put Heaven or Las Vegas above it. Bluebell Knoll is also great. It's right up there with these two. And then what is it? Milk and Cookies? Milk and Cookies? I can't remember what that's called right now, but that was their last album. That one's great too. I just remember thinking this sounds like going into a mall in your dream. The first time I heard this album, this is like, I'm in a dream and I'm in some mall, and for some reason it's like bliss. This is the music playing at the mall in like 1989. This came out in 93. Heaven or Las Vegas came out in 1990. And it's just like, you know, this is just like the soundtrack to heaven. This is the soundtrack to like being somewhere where I really want to be. I abused it. I abused these albums because I was just kind of like being a huge chud in Vegas. Like, I don't even really want to get into some of the memories. Like, when I was like collecting porn. Okay. There we go. I ruined the entire video. No, I mean, just, I had some dark times when I was living in Las Vegas, and these albums were blaring in the background, and, you know, maybe it's like what saved me from going over the edge. So thank you, Liz, from saving me from going over the edge. I need to make some really good memories this spring and this summer. I'm in a good place. I need to, all of these last 15 albums, guys, I'm going to make a point to jam through all of these old albums. The first video was more like albums that will always hold a special place in my heart. But these are albums that are like, bro, you can't forget about this stuff. This has always been important to you. I've been hitting the Further Seems Forever really hard since I first got here. Because the drumming, woo, that might be my favorite drumming, like, ever, for Further Seems Forever. Maybe favorite lyrics sometimes. I don't know. Love or hate with Modest Mouse. Sometimes I said I didn't like Modest Mouse lyrics. Modest Mouse at their best might have the best lyrics. And then Cocktail Twins just sounds like heaven. So. Or Las Vegas. No. I'm going with the duality, heaven or Las Vegas. That's it, guys. This is an hour and 12 minutes, a little bit longer than the first half, but these are the more important albums to me. So, I said I didn't want to do too much editing because my hand hurt, but I did get a little bit of a break. So, I'll take a look. I'll take a once over. I'll at least get the numbers for the albums in there. But I think we're all right, Chuds. I highly recommend you check this stuff out. I have a very bizarre, eclectic taste in music. And yeah, there's somebody's like, did you have any rap, hip-hop albums on your top? No, I mean, I could have had like Tupac, I Don't Deny It, I'm a Straight Rider, You Don't Wanna Fuck With Me, All Eyes on Me, that's one of my favorite hip-hop albums, Biggie, Ready to Die. I kind of just put rap in its own place. I mean, this summer when I'm jamming these albums, I'll throw on some of my favorite rap albums in between. I feel like rap is in its own universe. I just feel like rap is in its own universe where I like it, maybe just as much, kind of, but I don't really compare it to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And then jazz. I've never really been a jazz album guy. Probably like Pat Metheny, Alan Holdsworth, Pat Metheny. Those are like jazz albums that I can get down with. There's more metal albums that I like, but I'm pretty happy with this list, you guys. I did put a lot of thought into it, and I do think it makes sense. Take it or leave it, my friends. These are my top 30 favorite albums of all time. God bless. I'll see you at the premiere. God bless.